In this video, I'm revisiting the SimRacing BP2 button plate, which I had initially reviewed some months ago. I shared my initial thoughts on the plate, highlighting its strengths as well as a few areas for improvement. Overall, I saw it as a cost-effective choice for a SimRacing button plate. Recently, Zach from SimRacing offered me the chance to test their updated version, the Gen 2 BP2, which has been refined and includes a new feature I find incredibly useful. So stay with me throughout this video, and I'll reveal more about this later on. Before we dive in, I should disclose that this Gen 2 BP2 was provided to me by SimRacing without any cost. However, the views and opinions I will express in this video are purely my own, and SimRacing did not review this video before its release. Retailing at $317, the Turn BP2 is a reasonably priced sim wheel button plate for direct drive wheelbases. It connects to a PC using the included coiled USB cable and can be paired with any sim wheelbase or quick release hub featuring a 70mm bolt pattern, making it as universal as possible for most steering wheels in the market. Turn says they use high-quality electronics for the best feeling and reliability, with C&K tactile buttons, ELMA rotary encoders, and magnetic paddle shifters. The buttons feel good to me, not the best I've felt, but they have an excellent tactile feel and are satisfying to use. The rotary encoders also feel great, with a solid sense when adjusting that is not too soft, that you can precisely make adjustments, but not too strong, that they are challenging to operate while driving. Two 7-in-1 funky switches also have a nice feeling and offer versatility for handling navigation or car settings while racing. The magnetic Gen 4 shifters feel a bit improved from my first BP2, with a slightly more solid feel, and seem quieter, which is a bonus. The position can be adjusted to accommodate different drivers and wheel rim sizes. The shifter units and the paddles can be moved in either direction, making it easy to find your desired position. One issue I pointed out when I reviewed the previous Gen BP2 was that it was difficult to fully tighten the shifter paddle adjustment knobs, resulting in some play in the shifter, because the only way to tighten them was by hand. Turn has since rectified this by adding a slot on the top of the knob so you can use a screwdriver to get things tightened up better. I was pleased to see this refinement in the latest generation. The paddles are carbon fiber and replicate a smaller formula style that should work well with various wheels. I would, however, still like to see an option for a larger or GT style paddle in the future, but I had no issue using these paddles with both Turn's R305 rim, the larger 320 rim, and one of my GT style round rims from ASR. The casing is built using the latest technology in injection molding and is made from nylon, which helps keep the weight down, but the strength is equally as strong as aluminum. The case feels very well made with nicely finished round edges. It still has a premium feel without the price tag. Even at high force feedback levels, I felt no noticeable flex in the wheel while driving. On the back of the casing, you have a standard 70mm bolt pattern for attaching to your wheelbase or quick release. I'm using this with my SimuCube 2 Pro and their proprietary QR. I'll go into more detail on mounting this wheel to a base or QR and discuss what I think is extremely helpful shortly. Now let's dive into what's changed on this latest iteration of the Turn BP2. First, as I mentioned earlier, the paddles feel slightly improved from the previous version I tested. The shifter housings have shrunk slightly, and the cable connecting them to the electronics has now been concealed for a cleaner look. As I also mentioned earlier, the paddle adjust knob now has a slot to ensure it can be tightened with a screwdriver versus by hand. Now here's where things get a little more interesting. Turn made some changes to the mounting holes on the Gen 2. Of the 6 holes, 3 are pass-through holes and the other 3 are threaded. Why, you ask? Well, this was done for a very good reason. On the previous version, all 6 holes were pass-through, meaning you would typically take the 6 bolts and run them through your wheel rim and the casing, then through your QR or directly to your wheelbase to secure the button plate. Take my SimuCube quick release hub, for example. This would mean attaching the 6 lock nuts on the back side of the QR. But what if I decided to change the wheel rim on my previous BP2? This would mean removing the plate from my wheelbase, removing all 6 nuts and bolts, installing the new rim, then retightening the lock nuts again, which you would certainly not want to do between race sessions every time. Well, Turn developed an excellent solution for the Gen 2 button plate. Making 3 of the mounting holes fully threaded means with the new included hardware, you can secure your QR from the back to the button plate using only 3 holes. Then, on the other side of those same holes, you then attach the wheel rim with 3 screws. The beauty of this design is that if I want to swap wheels, I don't have to remove the whole button plate from the wheelbase. I only have to unscrew those same 3 screws and change the rim. This can be completed in less than a minute. I find this a nice feature and not something I've seen implemented on other button plates I've tested. However, correct me in the comments if you know of another product with a similar ability. This makes the case perhaps for this to be your only button plate. Then have multiple style wheel rims to change depending on the style of racing or car you're using in the sim. Now I know what you might think if you're anything like me. You now have 3 unfilled holes, which might not look great for some. Well, Turn offers optional magnetic plate covers. And they even work with non-turn wheel rims. It's just a matter of slapping one on, and you have what I think is a very clean looking wheel. You can even go as far as to customize the plate with their optional stickers or track maps. And for further personalization, why not use your own stickers, as I did here with my channel logo? Overall, I think the Turn Gen 2 BP2 is an excellent sim racing product at this affordable price point, and with high quality features, I can easily recommend it. The refinements on this latest gen have satisfied my earlier concerns from the previous version. Really, the only thing I would still like to see at this point is the option for larger GT-style paddles, but other than that, I think this is a great package. And like I mentioned earlier, if you're on a budget but want the ability to use multiple wheel rims, this possibly makes the case to be your only sim racing button plate. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this review and found it helpful in some way. If you have any questions or feedback for me, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments section below. Until the next one, stay safe and enjoy your racing.